What's up, anything from sports? This is the one and only Pharaoh Compton, aka King Dekai, aka Just a Kid from the Woods, aka Don't Jump with Him, aka The Rim Belongs to Compton.
We got it. That was hot. See, I couldn't do that. Welcome to the Anything for Sports podcast. With no additional introduction, we have Pharaoh Compton. Pharaoh,
What's going on, everybody? Nice to be here, Drew.
good to see you, man.
Good to see you too. It's been a while.
All right, we're going to jump right into it.
All right, I'm ready.
I want to learn and kind of I know you from following with Vegas Elite. I know a little bit about your backstory. I want to kind of start all the way at the beginning and really get to know young Pharaoh. I want to talk about where you grew up, where you were born. Tell me a little bit about, before you got into basketball, your childhood and kind of what growing up Pharaoh Compton was like.
Growing up, I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois, and when I was there, I was really just the kid who was trying to be outside as much as I can, hanging out with my friends, and just try to enjoy being young and just trying to always have a good time and be around my family. And I really wasn't thinking about anything else than that, and not even basketball, really.
You say you're from Chicago. A lot of people
Yes.
say they're from Chicago. Are you from Chicago? Because a lot of people from the area of Chicago.
Okay. I'm actually from Chicago. I'm from the Rack. I'm from Maywood. You can look it up. It's valid. I'm
All right.
actually from there.
So family, growing up there, brothers, sisters.
Oh yeah, when I was coming up, I did have a lot of siblings. I have around 9 siblings in total. It's 2 brothers, including me, and then I have 7 sisters. But it's with my mom has 2 sisters. Wait, my mom has 2 kids with my dad.
Their sisters. Give me names and age. Or are you the youngest, oldest?
Okay, for my sisters, from my mom, and I'm in the middle, so I'm a middle child. I have a sister that's younger than me. She's 15. I'm my older sister. She's 20, turning 21 this summer, but I'm the middle child.
All right. So how long did you stay in Chicago?
I was in Chicago until my 3rd grade year, right before my 3rd grade year, and then I came over to Vegas around 2014. But I was around 8 years old when I came to Vegas.
So starting in Chicago, did you play sports at all there? When did kind of this basketball journey begin?
No, I tried to play basketball. I tried to play football. I tried to do some things, but I really didn't take them seriously, or I really wasn't trying to do it all the time. I was kind of doing it for fun, or really, yeah, as a not even just a hobby, you could say.
How did you start playing basketball? Is there anything or anyone that kind of really got you into it? Like what was that first spark that picked it up for you?
Yeah, I would say after I came to Vegas, not even like a little bit after, I was really just hanging out at my friend's house down the street. And after we're hanging out over there together, one of my friends' parents, they had noticed I was kind of taller than usual than most of the kids. So they thought I should just come to the next AAU practice with them. And that's what I did. And I'd never done NJB or any other kind of basketball, but I literally started off at AAU, and I've been doing it ever since I was in 3rd grade.
So when did you said you they kind of noticed you were a little bit taller? When did you shoot up? Because I was creating your, I think, profiles on the site, and I think I saw like freshman, sophomore year, you were maybe
I was around
six
6'4",
six
yeah.
four. But when did it like
Okay, I would say, all throughout middle school, I was a little bit taller. I was average height, maybe a little bit taller, 5'7", maybe. But after middle school was over and COVID came, I grew like 3 inches. I went from 5'10" to like 6'3" by the time COVID was over with it. And everybody seen me, and I was just a giant, you
yeah?
could say, but I just been growing ever since.
So Chicago to Vegas. So you came here. What was from what you remember? What was that transition like? Because that's 2 different environments. I'm from the Midwest as well. I'm from Milwaukee, so it's completely different transition. But I did it after college, coming at a younger age. You're not leaving your friends behind, adjusting to kind of the new system. What was that like for you?
Yeah, I would kind of say it really was different, but since I was younger, when I was coming here, it was like those pivotal like years, and when you're growing up from middle school and going through high school, and I really feel like I just adapted to living out here, and I just really got comfortable with being out here, and it was definitely way hotter. I wasn't used to it not being any snow during the winter or not being as cold as it is. And so it was definitely a plus on the weather side and everything. But I had to make new friends all over again. But I was pretty easy for me, so I didn't have that much of a problem.
Yeah, that dress package is different. No, no more coats, no
Oh
more
yeah, no,
mittens,
no,
no
no,
more
no.
shoveling and salting the driveway. And I feel like the outfit choices and availability in Vegas are a lot better than it is back in the
You
Midwest.
definitely would have to go outside in the Midwest and put on at least three coats before you go out there. But now you don't put on little or nothing.
So you started playing the basketball in middle school. Kind of what middle school did you go to, and
Uh,
what was that like? Because this I'm gonna assume, and I'll get to the question like when did you start dunking? But it's in this question by nature. Like I want to hear about pre-dunking
okay,
Pharaoh.
okay.
What was that game like?
I mean, yeah, from middle school, I went to Catwater Middle School. It's really close to Arborview. But I was really just trying to be the person making hustle plays and knocking down shots if I had to. And just being a good teammate. And I really like to shoot. Really, that was my favorite thing to do before anything else. I like to shoot the ball and play defense. That was my favorite thing to do.
So now the question: at what age did you find the rim and learn like I like to shoot, but
The dunking is way easier. Okay, I would say that time during COVID when I got that growth spurt, I
Mhm.
was still going outside on outside courts and just trying to dunk. And I would even go in my backyard. I have a backyard court. I was trying to dunk out there. And I came to the park one practice with my AAU team, and I literally first drill, we did like a little in and out, in and out. I just came and I dunked it, and it was crazy. I was like 6'3". I was freshman. I barely got off the ground, but yeah, I dunked it.
What was that? If you can think back and remember, like what was that first feeling?
No, it felt good. If I wanted to do it again, like, and I wanted to keep doing it. And after you keep doing it, you realize how easy it is and how like how much of a cheat code of a move it is because you can't stop.
Do you remember first in-game dunk?
Oh yeah, I would say after COVID was over or after 2021 summer, we had a game in a hockey arena. Like they put the courts up and we was playing against PFB. I remember. I got a steal. I literally barely got up two hand. It was a rim grazer, but yeah, I dunked it. My mom recorded everything. She hears screaming in the background. It was nice.
All right. So kind of gonna transition to high school. So tell me about early years of high school, kind of where you started, think of maybe freshman, sophomore year, and kind of what that experience was like.
But yeah, high school was like coming to high school was different. So I mean, I just went to Arborview my freshman year because it was so close to me, and it was COVID, so the whole year was online. So I really didn't get a season at all. Didn't get to go in person much. So it was different for me. I never went through anything like that. So after that, I really wanted to play basketball. So after my freshman year, I started to just go to the basketball center every day to just work out and see who's there. And I ended up practicing with Chosen Few and the coaches over there were connected with Spring Valley. And then that's how I ended up over there for my sophomore year. And then we did some really good things over there. And I played with a lot of really good people. And that was like the first group of people or a second group of people kind of was really just like, man, we're all good going to like the seventh, eighth man.
So tell me a little bit about that sophomore year with Spring Valley, what that season was like for you and how far you guys got as a team.
Yeah, that season was pretty fun. You know, we made it to the championship game. We didn't come up with a victory, but I feel like that year was definitely we made some of the most best memories I did in my life, and it was really fun playing with people with all different types of skills and abilities on the court. It really just felt really good to be able to trust my teammates with their abilities because you know what they're gonna do.
Who'd you guys play in that championship game?
We played against Mojave High School, back to back 4A championship champion. It's respectable loss. We
Was
gave
that
all
was
we
that
got.
here or was that up in
It was definitely here
Reno?
at the Cox Pavilion. It wasn't at Thomas Mack, but it was at the Cox Pavilion. It was a really good game all the way up until the end. I was crazy. It was gym was packed. That was my first games where everybody was there in the stands and it was like it felt surreal.
So going through kind of losing that championship game, take me through like your feelings in that moment. Because again, you're sophomore, so you're like, I got 2 more years. I see where my career is kind of going. How did that help you kind of take that next step forward?
Okay, I mean, during the season, I already felt like, yeah, this is gonna be going. And after I just gotta keep it up and like keep stay on my grind. So the year before, I got the opportunity to play with Strive for Greatness in my 15th year. So that was right after my freshman year. So I actually got that text during my school season to come back for my 16th year. So I already knew what I had coming. So right after the season was over, I just flipped over to the AAU mindset and just thought I got more things I have to accomplish, more things I have to do.
So for the people that don't know, so Strive for Greatness, Ron James AU team. So again, and having the opportunity to start with them in 15s is that's big, big team, big market, big circuit. What was it like? Was that your first introduction to like big scene AU?
Yeah, yeah. I would definitely say that was my first outing for that. That I never been around anything like that. I was just used to coming in little gyms, and I would just go to California, Arizona, nearby states to play games.
Right.
And I'd never been anywhere like New York before, like Atlanta, and it was definitely different. And I feel like it really helps you as a player because you just learn how to just be able to go out on the court and just play basketball and just not worrying about who was watching, who's at the game, or anybody else but the people.
Talk about that competition level. So you have Las Vegas basketball, and then you have the highest level of Nike UIBL circuit. So experiencing that at 15, I mean, you get to see like there's levels to that. What was that like? Because now you're getting to challenge yourself against the best people, on the planet, basically.
Yeah, it was definitely fun for me, and it was definitely different. It was a new experience because I never, like you said, never played against that like amount of competition, but that much every single game. And that really push you as like your teammates and as a player help you to build you and
It helped you build like development, growth.
or it help you get I would say it kind of helped me get used to playing against the top competition, moving forward from there and knowing every time you're gonna play a game, you're gonna play against the best of the
Right.
best.
There's no off days.
Definitely.
So then coming out of that, so you did that for 15 summer. You then did that for 16 summer. So now going into your junior year, talk me through the program, the school that you played for, and then what that season was like for you.
Yeah. Right after I would say my 16th year, during my 16th year, we were practicing with Strive for Greatness. I had Victorious Maryland on my team. We were always practicing with Strive for Greatness in California. And he was talking to me one day about Arizona Compass and how much of a good program it is and everything they've done. And moving on from there, he helped me get connected with the coaches and I built a relationship with coaches from over there. And I ended up going to Arizona Compass for my junior year. And that was definitely one of the best experience I've been a part of. And it really helped me for going into college and living on my own. That was definitely, or not living with my mom. That was different.
Talk about that experience. It's your
Okay.
first. It's like going to college, but
Mhm.
before you get to go there, so now you got to cook, you
Okay,
got
so
to do
yeah.
laundry.
Yeah, we definitely doing laundry, we was cleaning up, but cooking, we definitely they got us right with the food and everything, so we really just had to worry about stuff that you had to do on your own. You had to make sure that everything that you had, like your clothes, yeah, your room is clean and get everything done, and it really just makes you feel like you have things you have to do before you have to, go out to school or do play basketball. It helps you really focus and get better at the little things first before you can go do it.
Was it different at the games? I know your mom and your family are such big supporters. Was it different not having them there at every game, like kind of the same way it was when you were kind of local in town where they could just, come
Mhm.
to a home game?
Well, like I said, when I being able to play with different AU teams like Strive for Greatness, a lot of times my family weren't able to come out, so I did just have to go out there and
Right.
show out, knowing that they were watching over the phone or over the
Yeah.
TV, because they definitely were watching on the TV and they were letting me know every single time, and I definitely was trying to bring it every time, and even though if my family weren't there, my mom wasn't there, all of the family members would try to make it out to my games and they would still come support me. So it was still really good for me. I still had a lot of confidence.
I was introduced to you through, funny enough, Instagram. is there's a my son Dante has a kid that's in his age range named Amari Oba, and he
Oh, yeah, I know how it is.
he looks like you,
Yeah, he
but
looks
he's
exactly
like
like me.
small. He just had the same kind of
Oh,
like
yeah, okay, yeah, he
it
went to
was
Liberty, yeah,
probably
I
2
didn't
years
remember that.
ago. Yeah, that 8th grade going to ninth grade year, he had the same hair, had the kind of the I don't wanna call it like bleach, but had like the
Yeah, he
colored had
dyed his
kind of
hair, yeah.
the colored hair, and you had your
Yeah, that
hair
was pretty
different.
funny.
Yeah, you had your hair different then.
Yeah, everybody was telling me about that, and they were showing me how much he looked like me and everything. I just thought it was funny because
I
I
thought you
didn't
guys
think
are
we looked alike at
brothers
all. I
because
didn't
I
think we
didn't
looked
know who
alike
you
at
were.
all.
I only knew him because Dante played with him, and then at some point, just on Instagram, just scrolling, I saw it's probably a EYBL video, but it was just to like dunk everything. I was like
Yeah, yeah,
and I'm looking
okay,
at
I know what you're talking
Amari,
about.
I'm looking at you, I'm like,
I didn't see it at first.
yeah,
That's why I thought it was funny, but I really, after a while, kinda. Now he looks almost just like me, I would say.
kind of going off of like that dunk everything idea. Because again, when I originally, so that's probably your June.
No, that was almost, I would
That's
say,
a
I well, actually, that was my motto for myself starting like my freshman year after I started dunking. I used to tell myself, try to just dunk everything I can anytime I got the chance. That's what I was trying to do. I
because
would do anything else, but yeah, that was my main focus.
the highlights I was seeing were crazy. And again, that's why, part of what we do with anything for sports and the social media side, like just having that exposure, like your videos just going crazy, gets your name out there with fans, people,
Definitely.
schools, kids. Like it is important for people to have like that ability. Again, that's how I found you. It's a lot of like, it just grows your brand in a sense. Cause
Mhm.
now at the point we're at with NIL, with everything, everyone is their own brand and having to grow that. Like if you take away all your videos, let's say for some reason nobody's recording any of those games, you're still the same player, but then nobody knows you. Like you don't get that same reach. And coaches look at that. Somebody was telling me a story. I forgot. Even if I remembered, I wouldn't say the coach's name, but he was basically talking to me as assistant coach for a college D1 university. And he was talking about recruiting and how when they look at players, they're looking for skill. But at some point, if you have two players, same skill set, close to kind of comparable, past history stats, if one player has a huge following, millions of followers, like they're trying to fill seats and get people excited about their program, have donors donate the same way anyone is, the same way they are in the NBA. So if they're looking at players like that and one kid, they both have good attitudes, but one's bringing this huge following and hype, he's like, hey, we lean towards that because we're trying to fill seats too. Like it's a college and a program we want to win, but we're trying to gather that. So the fact that you kind of have that momentum and so many people that know who you are, like even that little highlight I just put in the RWE,
Oh yeah,
every
yeah,
kid
yeah.
surrounding you, like,
That was nice. That was pretty nice
like
too.
that's important. Like
Mhm.
having that, like being somebody in the space. Cause again, we want our game to carry us and to translate and everybody to know us for just that and for that to stand alone. But that brings all the other stuff and that I feel like that does help. Have you seen kind of as your popularity has grown, like as your game's grown and it's brought those other pieces, have you seen kind of that transform a little bit and starting to even with Vegas Elite, you're a known person when you walk around. How has that been? Because it's a little bit like pre-celebrity, just having people kind of know who you are even before you know who they are.
Yeah, 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 most definitely. I understand what you're saying. But when it comes to that, I feel like you have to be like a humble person, first of all, for anything of that to happen. And to keep that stature you want to say or anything, you have to be a good person behind all of that. And that's how you really, that's for me, that's how you really keep it. But I would definitely say that it's been different, and but I've been blessed to be able to play with so many people and been around so many people that even my freshman year, I was strive for greatness, and they were doing that with me, or the people I was with, and I was still just having to act like you're normal, and moving on from there, it was more just like keeping it the same way how it was, and just acting like I've been here before, because I had, and even though if other people didn't know, you just have to keep it regular, but it is definitely something that I feel like more people, like in Vegas, but in the world generally, in the States generally, that they gotta start getting more media outlets out there to all these hoopers because there's so many people playing basketball now or kids playing basketball. There's so many underrated people too, and they got to start getting them out there because sooner or later, I think everybody's gonna have the platform to be
Right.
posted and get out there like that.
So now we move into last summer, and that's kind of when I officially got to meet you. So I remember being on, I think it's early trips with Vegas Elite, and
I
I
wasn't
forgot
even
the
there.
name. I forgot the name they were using.
Don't do it.
I don't remember. No, but no, Chris and everybody, they were talking about you, but they weren't saying Pharaoh. They were saying we're trying to get somebody, and they kept using.
I know what it is. Yeah, it's probably
Yeah, but they kept saying we're trying to get them, trying to get them. They're talking about it, and then we ran into you at the airport.
yeah. I
And then
remember
I then
that.
I like connected the dots of who they were talking about. But they had been talking about it on like the pre-training stuff when we
Yeah.
were at the like early workouts at the
Yeah, they were definitely
YMCA.
texting me, calling me that whole
Yeah, yeah,
time too.
yeah.
I know what you're talking about. And then I think I was in Atlanta. I think maybe when I seen y'all,
Yeah.
and I was talking to y'all the whole time. And I mean, we got to come back on the same we're on the same flight together. So it was a convenient. Yeah.
So kind of as the stars aligned in
Mhm.
that little situation, last year, 17U, Vegas Elite, walk me through that journey. What was it? What did that experience mean to you? And kind of just take me through your feelings throughout that
Yeah, I
process.
mean, first of all, I want to say that that is definitely one of the most loaded rosters I've been on. We have 5 stars coming off the bench on that team. We had people that got snubbed from the McDonald's All American game on that, but we had everybody that was a senior was a nominee. That was pretty special, and I feel like we made the most of it too, making it to the championship game. Went 8-0. We were the number one team for a while too, for a couple weeks, and I feel like that was really like the best group of players, like all put together. And I wish we could have won, but
How did you feel like your because I can as I said, because I can see the difference of the pre-Pharaoh team and the post-Pharaoh team.
really.
Yeah. Well, I was with them since the beginning before you came after without
Oh,
yeah.
okay, I can say this. I know what this is. I can say that when I came onto the team, I feel like there was a court presence that needed to be there and off the not even on the court, but during the timeouts and all that. There needs to be somebody more vocal. I came in, I was trying to be that person, just being vocal all the time, letting everybody know that it's okay, and just let them know that there's a game tonight. We're gonna win this game. So just trying to be that motivational person for everybody. That
Mhm.
was definitely like my job, and just trying to keep everybody into the game, keep the energy going, and make them really want to win and play for each other. So I feel like that was really good for me. I feel like it helped me build up my confidence to be like, okay, I can really lead people,
Right.
some people to really want to win.
But I will say, because I've been around you on a couple different teams now, and I don't have to use any specific team as an example, but I think what I've seen out of you, and you mentioned all the high caliber players, even that Vegas Elite had. I think what I've seen from you more than any other person on any of the teams that you've played with. It's gonna sound not cliche, but funny because nobody likes to lose. But you don't like to lose, like
Yeah.
to an extent of because you always have those games where people. We all have games where you're not bringing it your all for whatever reason. You had a bad day, or you're just not up for that game. But you don't find that acceptable or tolerable in any at the Vegas, not at the Nike EYBL level, at the border league, at the like at any level, no matter what, even at the high school regular season Arborview game, no matter what game or tournament I saw you in or watched you in, I would see even in games that you guys were down, in a game that probably didn't matter, like a
Hmm.
regular
Yeah,
season,
I
just
get it.
throwaway game, you were holding everyone accountable and just weren't having it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, the phrase like the game's not over till like it's over, or like, to the buzzer sounds. I really feel like from when that clock starts until when it's over, you should be giving it literally everything you have until you can't. And if you're not, then like there should be no reason why you're trying to play the sport or you're trying to go out there and not giving everything you have. But yeah, it's different between everybody. So I get what you're saying where everybody doesn't have it.
Because I know some of these answers already, but what do you do? Like, how do you hold people accountable where you can see some games, maybe they just, they're just not on at that game.
Mhm.
Maybe you guys are down a couple points and you're just trying to lift and build them up. Like, what do those moments feel like to you, and how do you help them kind of like get back into it and snap out of it?
Yeah, it kind of feels like you and the person know like what the other person is capable of, or the person that is down supposedly is capable of. So you just let them know. I just feel like you just tell them like you're gonna go out there and do. You're gonna make that three. You're gonna make that dunk. You're gonna make that layup. It's gonna happen sometime throughout the game. If you just give them that encouragement, just let them know that's gonna happen. So when that moment comes and it happens, I just usually sit there and I would just run right as the person. I would just be like, I told you, like it was gonna happen. And then from there on out, that person has like you have the most confidence. So,
I feel like your play style too easily translates. Some people can just say things, but I think your actions help support and bring that. It's not just the defense and dunking, but like your intensity on the court helps. Where sometimes now, because I'm recording the games, I kind of get to watch the flow of the game and
mhm.
how it's going and watch everyone's different emotions and seeing how just the things you do on the court can translate and like lift the bench and people up. I'm watching Sebastian Knox. I'm watching like everybody
Yeah,
kind of get inspired and enthused by like what you're doing. I'm thinking even specifically like that Section 7 game.
yeah, I know
All
exactly what you're talking about.
yeah.
Yeah,
So it like your play brings everyone with you, whether or not they think it's over, whether or not they want to come. Like it
yeah.
sounds like I'm gassing you up, but sometimes you
No, this
can't
is
not get hyped sometimes for
yeah.
Pharaoh Compton
Mhm.
plays. Like
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
it's
But
just
really, I really feel like when I heard the phrase, "You can't teach effort." That's something that a person has, and that's not taught or nothing. It really just comes with the person. And just being through so much when I was younger, playing with them AAU teams was really gutty. It didn't seem like I was playing for anything, but we are really playing for something. And when I got older, I feel like it really stuck with me. Just being like playing against and playing with some of the toughest people in the kids in the local area, that really just helps you because when you're younger, it's like you shouldn't be baby or anything. Man. Even when it comes to sport, you shouldn't be babied or anything. You should out there be ready for anything to happen. So my coaches, my mom, they always told me you better go out there and if anything happen, you better just give it your all until the game is over.
I'm gonna reference young Pharaoh in this because that's usually when, before that attitude, before you find that, before it develops, are there any this might be a better question for mom in the second part, but have you because as equally as I think that you have that in you, I also think based on your upbringing, anything else would be not acceptable. I think what is having your mom and that type of not just the support all around, but having that type of attitude coming from her as well, how has that helped you kind of stay on the straight and narrow? So even sometimes, especially like when you're younger and you're still figuring your way out through basketball, you might want to quit. I don't want to come to this practice
Mhm.
or something. She's like, that's not an acceptable factor for her. How has that helped you kind of get up and become the person you are?
I would say most definitely from the start, my mom being there when I first started playing AAU, she was there like all the time when I was younger. And I would always look at over her during the games or practice. And then she just look at me like, "Are you okay? Or you not?" And keep going. And if nothing's really wrong, then you should be able to be fine and go out there and be tough and like fight it out. And that was really, really helpful for me because, like I said, it helped going up into high school and middle school. I was must do in middle school. I was a little softer on the soft end, and I got it back after being back at home, and it really helped me out a lot.
Yeah, I feel like that no excuses is something that she carries that gets passed down to you. And like you said, the toughness, if you can get out there and play, because again, I've seen you play through when your finger, like
Oh yeah,
some
my
some
finger,
injuries. I've seen you
yeah.
play through some things that you maybe should have a seat, but they were some of them were in moments like the Vegas Elite stuff where you were like, I gotta bandage this and get out there. Otherwise the game's not the same if I don't finish this out.
Okay. I would say another thing that helped me with that being so mentally tough too, is being when I was in Arizona Compass, you know, you really just being at a prep school is different from a public school and the way if you've been to a prep school, everybody knows how different it is and every level, different on what levels. And being there, it really just taught me how to keep playing through things. And if it really wasn't that bad to where you couldn't play anymore, then you should just keep trying to play and keep doing. If you have to switch up how you grabbing the ball, even or how you playing defense, just do it because as long as that clock goes off after, you can treat it and you'll be better and you'll be fine up for the next game.
Yeah, because you were out there. I'm like, man, I don't know if you can dribble right now when your finger was bandaged and stuff.
I
Like,
was definitely just dunking and trying to block shots
yeah.
then, and my finger was definitely we didn't know it, but my finger, my pinky was, dislocated or, I tore a ligament,
But that's the
pinky.
thing. Like, you knew the situation, the environment. Like,
We
you
had to
had to
we
be
had
in
to
those
win,
games.
yeah.
Like they needed you to win, and did.
No, that weekend especially was tough, but it really helped me build up my strength and just being so, like, mentally there, just being so locked into a game so nothing is throwing you off of it.
So you mentioned strength. So what does training look like for Pharaoh Compton from the basketball perspective? Like, do you do kind of personal training and stuff on the side like that? And then as far as like weights and stuff, what is your kind of like regimen?
And usually when, I like to go on my art review to work out on the actual court. I go up there anytime from 5 a.m. or before school. That's after school or later in the day, I will go to the gym. And if I'm not at the gym, I have a place in my backyard where I can go out there and do anything like lift weights, shoot a little bit, or even do any type of workouts I want to do. I'm not doing that once I'm done doing all that. I make sure I'm stretching before I go on the court, after I get home, before I go to sleep. I like to stretch all the time. And my food, I have like I'm thankful to live with my family right now. So they like to make a lot of my meals for me and it's pretty good every time. So some of my favorite things I eat that they make has to be a regular turkey or ham sandwich. I'll eat like salads, Caesar salads like that. My favorite meal though is like shrimp Alfredo, like anything like pasta, like spaghetti.
You eat school lunch?
Oh no, I definitely buy lunch.
But what are the lunch options at
Yeah, so
RBU?
when you're there, they have the free lunch.
Yeah.
They have a snack shack, if you want to call it that, and have a food spot where they just have different options every day, from chicken fingers to Chick-fil-A, Cane's. Literally, they just sell
Man, you
regular
guys are
food.
living it up.
Right.
We just had free lunch.
Oh no, it was
Free lunch
yeah,
cafeteria,
it's definitely
chicken
changed.
nuggets, uh, fish fillet
Yeah,
sandwiches,
it's definitely changed
like
for
that
sure.
old corn out
We
of big
will, yeah,
tubs,
we'll literally have like vans, food cater vans
like real food.
come to the school, yes, and
Yeah.
set up in the school, and we can just get it. They'll set up tents, we'll
Man,
get it. It is different. So the food options they're definitely there, but they literally had to ask the students for better options,
right.
other options than just a school lunch, and we gave them the options, and they did it. So it was
Is
really nice.
Riverview a closed campus? Or do you guys
Yes,
like
yes,
so you can't like leave
yes.
for
It's a
lunch?
closed campus. There's gates around the
Yeah, yeah,
school.
yeah.
So yeah.
Are you a I call it a park kid? Do you play at the park?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. When I first came to Vegas, that was definitely like my first thing I was doing. I was going to the park every day. I have my
'Cause
mom take
it's
me,
different.
and
It's I'll say it's generational, but a lot of kids in your age group don't play at the park. Like
oh, I didn't know
it's
that.
gyms, it's all that, but they
Hmm.
don't have. It's a good thing because they don't have to. But,
Yeah.
like we grew up, we didn't have trainers. We didn't have like we had the YMCA, like the Boys and Girls Club,
Oh,
but
okay.
really on a daily basis, you got home from school, threw your book bag in the house, you just went to the park.
Yeah, no, I
So
mean, yeah, that's what I was definitely doing when I first came. I like to go play basketball at the park as much as I can. I really have some people that were there so much that really became friends just off going to the park together so much and playing basketball. And I feel like going to the park too, that helps you build strength too, another way, because those people are more 10 of the times going to be older than you, and they don't care about your feelings. I'm gonna be honest. So you just got to play. Got to play.
yeah, I feel like for my generation, that's the toughness factor. Like that's where they got it from because you played with older kids. The older kids could stay on. So if you wanted to play, you had to either be about it to be able
Yeah.
to play with them, or you could just sit on the side and watch like all the rest of the little kids. So you really had to keep showing up, and you wouldn't make it. You wouldn't make it. You'd never get picked up, and then you had to like when everybody else left, you had to keep working on your game and playing for those moments when you finally get picked up. and you became good enough to get picked up with the kind of older kids?
Yeah, see, I used to just go on the court while they were playing or when they weren't playing. I used to work out before. I used to try to get my work in before. I'd be like, yeah, y'all see me. I'm valid now. And I'll hop on with the team. I'll get picked up. But I was definitely in third, fourth grade down at the park playing against people in middle school and high school. It was different, but it was fun because, like you said, nobody's doing that anymore.
Right.
And that I feel like that helps
Feel
you.
like
Yeah.
at this point, you'd be a problem for every park rim. Park rims are made different.
Yeah,
Those are you don't want to be dunking how Pharaoh dunks
yeah, I definitely had to
on
stop
those
going to the park.
double
Yeah,
park rims.
I stopped
Like,
going to the park a long time ago.
so talk to me about. I mean, we've talked about a lot of ups. Talk to me about some challenges. I think one that I do know about is early in your career. I think freshman year you broke your thumb. Talk
Yeah,
to me through again one of your first major injuries. Now, kind of, I know it's during COVID year, but having to take a seat a little bit from basketball, or just take a different journey where you can't still work out and do all the things you're used to and wanting to do. How did you kind of handle going through that injury and then kind of going through recovery and then finally getting back to basketball afterwards?
yeah, yeah. Even though it was COVID, like you said, there were still most tournaments going on, and my team I was playing with, the Panthers, were in tournaments. And I got the cold as well, but I wasn't allowed to play. And like they say, I feel like you earn a different type of love for the game where you're hurt or you're not able to play it, or you see it from a different point of view. And I was definitely saw it from a different point of view. And after that was when I came back and started dunking all the time because I was mad I wasn't able to play, seeing all my friends start dunking.
So one thing kind of that just came to mind, and maybe you can talk about it as a star player who plays in all the games, all the minutes, starter. I think something you have that most definitely players that play in those like your position that don't have is bench presence. Like when you aren't playing, even again, watch you at high school for those, moments where they sub you out to give you a little rest,
Yeah.
etc. To the Vegas Elite team, again, when they're rolling in, the next group of 5 stars and
Mhm.
you're in the rotation and it's not about who's coming in or out. Like you on the bench, I think is equivalent to anybody else I've seen of like energy, attitude. What would you say, not to just like the starting player and stars, but I talk to kids all the time about, well, one, attitude on the bench. I've
Of
talked to so many
course,
coaches
of
that
course.
say, like, they will, for a big portion, they won't even watch the game. They're just, especially for the starter, they're
Watch the
watching you when
bench.
you get subbed out to see like your energy on the bench. Like, are you helping out? Are you like, even at the end of the game, you guys are up 30 points and they subbed in, the B team, like, you're still on the bench, like, keeping them going, like, motivating them. Like, talk to me about like why that's important for you and like what that's like and how that helps like build your team chemistry.
Yeah, that's definitely another part where the game is as long as it is, and when that buzzer goes off and when it sounds and it starts, that you have to be into it, like into the game, even if you're not in it. And I feel like yeah, that is the most important part, being on the bench, because if you have a bench that is like you say is dead or isn't showing any like showing they're not showing any type of presence and towards the game,
Right.
it really seems like the people who are on the court, they don't really have any energy or they don't really have the type of quickness to really want to do anything. So when you are on the bench, when that timeout does come or when that thing does happen, you feel like you see what's going on, you're talking to your teammates about it. Now when that timeout comes and everybody's in timeout, y'all can all talk about what happened and the people from the bench can let the people on the court know what they see too. I feel like that helps everybody. Really just that's another communication factor and everybody locked in. That helps people win games.
I mentioned like even when they put like again, you're at 30 points, they put the third string in. I see you like a lot of star players, they go get their water and they'll just sit and talk with each other and not be into the kids who are more the practice players, etc. And I've always seen you still like at the forefront, like still in the game, no matter if you're up 30.
Yeah, yeah, because those people, like, even though you could say they're not a star player, they still put the time in off the court. They still putting the work in. They work for that moment. So when they get in that game, they should be out. They should be able to get their little shot. They should get their layup and little dunk. If they get that, then you should keep hyping them up as if it was somebody like me on the game because they're definitely doing that for me.
And it's funny because I can the fact that I can name probably about 3 or 4 bench highlights of you, like on Taj's 3 in Phoenix,
Uh-huh.
you pulling out like the fact that I could name
Yeah,
bench highlights of Pharaoh Compton, like
yeah,
it's not many players you can think like, do you remember a highlight of them on the bench? And just in my head, like off the top of my head, I got like 3 or 4 of you being that actively in the game that I feel like it's a highlight. And then I put in videos of you on the bench. Like you got bench highlights. That's pretty
yeah.
much what it
I
comes
feel
down
like
to.
so before you going in the game, I'll do that a lot of times before I'm even. Sometimes before I come in.
Yeah.
Now when I'm coming in, I feel like
Like
I'm
ready.
already into the
Yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah.
I'm already in it. I already came in the game. I played a little minutes, but I haven't even been in the game. I'm just trying to get myself going, get everybody else going at the same time. I feel like that's really a factor that everybody needs to start doing. Bench etiquette.
When you think back to your high school basketball career, are there any specific moments that stand out more than others? Like a big memory, big play, like something that was like very impactful to your career?
Yeah, there's definitely a couple. Like first of all, being able to play in Geico Nationals my first year being on a prep team, being able to play in a 4A state championship my sophomore year, my first year playing high school, and I got to play Peach Jam championship as well. But that that Peach Jam championship game, just the energy in that game, that was kind of something like that was the first thing I it was
It
crazy
was
for
different.
me and it was different. But playing at Peach Jams like all those years and that be my last year, and felt like everybody was there, everybody was fans were into the game. That was definitely like one of the most fun games and was the best thing I've been a part of.
All right, so we'll talk about kind of a current event. So you got the opportunity to play on the Rod Wave AU team. So talk to me about kind of how you got recruited, how you got brought into that, and
Mhm.
what that experience was like for you.
Yeah, that was something. That was really something different as well. That was really fun. But really coming into it, Neil, everybody knows who Neil is. He had hit us up, hit me up, sending me the link for the tryout, send me the invite for the tryout, telling me I can come. And I really at first I didn't think much of it because supposed to be going to college soon and everything. But I did talk to a couple people I know, and I feel like it was the best option to go and play because first of all, I think it's like for the city and for the people, and that was really something that's never gonna like happen to every day, like you
Right.
say. So being able to just get the invite, and then I know I did. I showed up a little late to the tryout, but by the time the games came and all that, I think like I didn't expect it to become. I didn't expect it to turn out like, and that was definitely like I said, it was different, but that environment was like something like that. No other game will ever be like that. Or people that's not happening. They don't let people be that close to the court, and I've never seen that many people just leave around one court for one game. That was some AU game that you really that's how you want every game to be, and that's how that helps you like build confidence as well, and all of that helps you play with other people that are as good as you, and you're playing against people who are as good as you as well. And it's just really good 'cause competition is always there. It's fun. You got the trash talk going on as well. Every game, just like you said, every game was a movie, and you could take so much from that.
You mentioned trash talk.
So,
Um, one of your relatives got a couple of seconds on the court. They got a little court
we got some
time.
screen time.
Got some
Ooh.
got a little screen time. Talk to me. We talked about family a little bit earlier. I think
Mhm.
in your family you have very I was trying to use a big word like ovacious. That's not a word. It's something like that. You have very vocal supporters. You have a very vocal support crew that rides for you at a moment's notice. What is that? How does that? I can only imagine how that helps just your confidence. Like just knowing you got a team with you basically everywhere you go, like knowing they're there to support you in any way, even getting a little bit of court time in any way you need. Like, how much does that mean to you?
Yes, like you said, that definitely helps your confidence on the course because you feel like you can be able to do really anything, or you feel like you can do any move, or feel like nobody can tell you anything on the court, and that's what people need. You should be able to have no worries but to go out there and hoop because that's what you're supposed to be doing. So I feel like everybody really needs that around them because that's the most important thing off the court.
So looking forward now. So you committed to what
San Diego
college?
State.
There you go, State. So you're going there with Taj Gorville in the same class. Talk to me about what that process was like for you. Because I kind of followed through, obviously, like the graphics and the images online of like, choosing, narrowing down to top six and all that.
Mhm.
Like, what was that overall? You don't have to get into specifics, but like, what was that process? You know, going on different visits, talking to different coaches, kind of feeling everybody out. What was that process like of having, the attention from different colleges and really having to pick what was the best fit for you? And then kind of what led you to San Diego State?
Yeah, well, all that it definitely leads you to having to always be open to something new or hearing to what somebody else has to say because there's so many universities out there and so many colleges and so many coaches like texting people, hitting people up. So I feel like you have to build patience with that, knowing there's so many schools you have to go visit or you have to talk to different coaches, and you just have to be patient and you have to be able to take it all in though, and make sure you're divvying out the right information from the people. So I had a long recruiting process. Like I'm blessed to have like getting 15 a month, about 15 offers, and I was receiving offers from like 2022. I said that wrong.
You guys' first offer is Section 7 of this past year? No, before. That was 2020.
No, no, I didn't. I got my first offer after the Atlanta session.
Who was your
My
first
my my
offer? Do you remember?
16s, my 16, 15s, 16's year.
16. So
Uh,
16U summer, first
yeah,
offer.
16U. Yeah, we were playing. We had a tournament in Atlanta. My first offer was from Texas A&M.
Mm,
Yeah, from
okay.
Texas A&M, and I got like Arizona State the next day,
Yeah.
and I got
And they just came from there.
yeah, kept me.
So what were the kind of deciding factors? You visit San Diego State, you talk to the coaches, again, you kind of I'm sure you talked to Taj during that process. Like what were the factors that helped you lead making that decision?
Yeah, I mean, from the moment San Diego offered me, culture on me, and even the Tyler's on me as well about what I thought about it, and him wanting me to come as well. So I mean, I always talked to him about it and just seeing what he thought. But I was really just trying to see if the head coach was going to keep a good relationship with my family, because that is really what is most important. Seeing how much they keep in contact or if they're in contact at all. And Coach Brian Dutcher definitely made sure he was doing. Uh, That was that was one of the deciding factors.
Without naming any programs or naming specific names, what's one thing for you guys that was like a turn off factor that either a coach or a program did or didn't do? Like I've
Oh,
talked to a
okay.
bunch of parents,
Yeah,
like
I
somebody that
got you.
dropped the ball, or oh, we went to the meet and greet or the visit and they didn't even welcome us the right way. What are some of those things that coaches did
Mhm.
for you guys that didn't help the
No, I
process?
got you. I enjoyed all my visits I went on. They're all good. I didn't have no problems with that. The thing I said though was, yeah, some head coaches weren't in contact with my mom at all that offered me, and they weren't in contact with my mom or my family at all. And so I know even though I am the person going there, they are the people who raised me up until I went there. So they need to know what's gonna be going on. So I feel like a coach not really contacting like my family or family member that's definitely I don't know.
So now looking at kind of your college career, having the accolades, making the achievements through high school, what goals have you set for yourself now, kind of looking at your freshman year going into that?
Okay, yeah. I definitely been thinking about this all the time lately. And I want to come in my first year. I want to be a solid player and be able to just get my feet wet on the court. And I feel like have a good chance to do that. But I want to be able to show people that I've been working on my jump shot and my handle as well. So when all that comes together, that's really what I want to be able to show people. I feel like the rest will be able to everybody be able to see the rest of the work I've been doing. But this is my jump shot. That's the short term goal, and then after that, I really want to just have a great first year and have a good year at San Diego and just be able to hoop and do schoolwork and just not having to worry about anything. And there's some awards I want to get. Like I definitely want to get like Mountain West freshman of the year. I'm aiming for that. That's like one of the main ones.
Outside of family, when you look at your supporting group that's kind of brought you through high school basketball, whether it's mentors, coaches, trainers. Walk me through some of the people that were just impactful in different ways. And if you want, you can kind of go into it, like in the different ways of whether it's on the court or off the court, of helping you kind of become the man and the athlete and player you are today.
Okay, I got you. I mean, for sure, I would have to say Coach Cam from the Panthers from my middle school, elementary school. I was to high school too. My AU team I played with. He was a big mentor for me, starting off to be my first coach ever. And he, like I said, he taught toughness. You really can't teach that at a young age. And he instilled it in us from a young age, or he put it into us that we were going to be tough kids and we're going to be tough our whole life from there on out. And with the Panthers as well, they had Coach Will, who was around as well. He was one of the best development coaches. And other than that, he's like a real person. He kept it real with us on the court, and that's what you need on the court. You need realness, people to be straight up with you. Because if not, you won't really make that much progress. And also, I would say Coach A. Gibson from AZ Compass. He was my coach there. I was there, and he definitely taught toughness as well. And just I feel like you have to have a coach everywhere you're at that is staying on you about being tough, fighting through adversity, and making sure that you're gonna be all right no matter what happened. And that's what he did for me. Well, now I'll also say Coach Mark Dickel from our review. I was with him my last past year, and he definitely got me in the gym as much as I can. I got all the work. I got a lot of work in as well. I really developed mental as well. And I got to pay with Strive Greatness. So LeBron, he's definitely been a good mentor. His family, a good mentor. Them been a good mentor for me. So helped me guide through my last year of high school, mainly being back at home, and which was definitely different for me. They definitely helped me out, being able to navigate really all these different things for me because I was used to being a part of the team all the time.
When I originally talked to you and kind of sent you like the podcast questionnaire, I had a last question on there, which was, is there anything additional you want to talk about? And you wrote something that I have no idea what it means because both words in there mean high school. That guys
Oh,
and you,
whoa. Oh, I meant to say God.
oh, okay. Because it said guys is king.
I
So
meant to say God.
it's just funny. So I went to Rufus King High School and my coach was Coach Guys. So you said
Really?
Guys is king. And I was like,
No
I
way.
know he ain't talking about.
No
I was
way.
like,
No,
that's
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 crazy.
random.
That's crazy.
Okay, I was like, there's no way he's talking about Rufus King High School Coach Guys. But okay, it makes a lot more sense now. It's
Oh, I'll
funny
just
because
type
I
it
even
out.
Googled it. I was like, guys. I'm like, oh, maybe it's just a term I'm not up on. I'm like, man, it ain't no terms of guys. Okay, okay, let me phrase this then. I'm like, you know, Coach Guys, damn, that's hot. Like, Coach Guys really out here. Man. So another thing I know is part of your support system and your family dynamic is kind of your faith. Talk to me a little bit about how important that is to you and like how that's helped your journey as an athlete and a young man.
I feel like putting your giving your faith in Christ and giving life to God, that really helps you out. Just being able to he'll help you navigate and he'll really tell you things or you'll feel like you're talking to somebody that will help you out with anything you need to and it'll help you guide you to the right path. No matter if you don't have anybody there to tell you what they think is best for you, you know you always have somebody for you to help you get you through any problems, any struggles, anything that's going on in life. I think God is always there for you.
So we want people also to like find you for the people that don't know you haven't seen your highlights. So this is a part where I'm actually gonna have you look at the camera. So I'm gonna have you look at that camera. That's your camera. I'm gonna have you give them your social media tag for Instagram. Your social, do you know it?
Yeah.
All right.
So my Instagram is Pharaoh Compton, PHARAOHCOMPTON, all one word.
The last thing I'll bring up, you have a tattoo, at least one visible tattoo
Mhm.
on your right arm. Talk to me about that tattoo. So I don't know which camera can see it. Can you put it up like this? If one of the cameras will get it, I think we'll get it. Otherwise, I'll take a picture of it and we'll overlay it right here. So, because we did just talk about mentor support system, faith and religion, talk to me about that tattoo and kind of the meaning behind it for you.
Okay, so yeah, this is one I got. Like it's my first one ever. It's my only one to this day. And the exact meaning is says like keep me safe, Lord. Um, those devised ways to trip my feet. That's literally the word. That's literally the verse. And it's Psalms 140. The whole thing is I like it, but this one line was the most important to me. So,
How long ago? When did you get that?
um, my 16th birthday,
Okay.
might have been 15th, still. 16th birthday.
Mom was good with it.
Yeah, she approved. She was
Okay.
there. She was there.
It wasn't one of those you just came home like, hey, mom.
Now we set it up. I
Yeah.
told her before I sent it to her. I told her I'm gonna get it. I showed her the design while I was getting it. It was all good. It was all good. And I'm actually about to get some more. Boom. Yeah.
Okay, she didn't look up, so we should be good.
Mhm.
So if you could kind of look back at young Pharaoh and give yourself kind of some knowledge and some inspiration to kind of, going through all the trials and tribulations you did, making it to the level you did, all the accomplishments, if you could look back at the younger you, what would you tell yourself?
Well, I would definitely say, I mean, I would have picked up the basketball a little bit earlier. But I would definitely say as long as I was playing a sport and every time I would even think about remembering why I was playing. So I feel like when you're playing a sport, you always have to remember like your why, your reason. Because after a while, you'll feel like there's no reason why you're playing, or you won't remember why you're out there, and you just start to get lost from the actual meaning of you being on the court. So you just have to keep your whys, and keep your main thing the main thing, and just really remember what you're doing it for and who you're doing it for.
So I want to thank you for joining the podcast, for coming on. It's been a pleasure being able to watch kind of the end of your high school career, you know, seeing all the accomplishments and being able to follow you on social media prior to that, but then getting the opportunity to actually get to know you as a young man, to follow you through Vegas Elite, see you at Arborview, and really see you kind of transcend for me just the highlights. Because again, that's kind of who I picked up of you
Mhm,
as. And, for most people that don't get to kind of sit with you, talk to you, and kind of be with you during that journey, there's so much more there, I think, than just what's been highlighted on, just basketball highlights. And that's kind of part of why I wanted to put together this podcast and to have you on it, is because there is a deeper story that I think is important for people, for kids to see that are going through the same journey you went through, and for coaches that are interested in you at the next level, that are kind of watching you progress and grow. I think it's important to tell that too. Again, you can only watch so many highlights of any kid play. Like, getting really to know the person, I think, says a lot about who they are and who they're going to become, and can give you some insights into their potential that might
mhm.
not just be on the court. So I thank you for coming on, for
Yeah, so
taking the
thank you
time.
too.
Yeah.
And this has definitely been something different for me. I've never been able to do anything like almost like this, and I'll definitely be open to it again. But I would say this is something I think is good because, like you said, it's more than just basketball. And if you just take any time out of your day to talk to somebody, you literally never know what they're going through or what's happening and how much you can help them, or really just talking to them, figuring out who they are and what they do. I feel like that really changed. That would change. Yeah, I feel like if you just give 1 second in your day to talk to somebody and just check them on them, really change your view on them by just taking any time you have to just sit down and talk with them. You literally not just think about them as like a highlight or player. They're just more than an athlete.
Appreciate it. That's been this episode, the Anything for Sports podcast. Want to thank you guys for watching. Thank Pharaoh Compton and his mom for joining us today. See you guys in the next episode.